Hello my loves and welcome back to my channel. So today, as you can see, we have a little bit of a different look. I brought back somehow my curly hair. If you follow me, you know that I got a nanoplasty, so this was hard. But if you remember, I used to have huge curly hair and now this is the maximum I can get, but still, I feel like it's very curly. I used a ton of products. And we also have a new candle to add to our collection. So today I'm feeling new. Also this new style with this new shirt. I feel like I'm a little bit hippie today, but still very classy, very chic. And this is the perfect look to talk about today's topic, which is authenticity, how to become your true authentic self. Today we're gonna see how to finally stop the people pleasing and become a version of yourself that finally actually follows their dreams. Someone that stops being limited by the expectation of others. As always, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Mirella and on here we talk about all things self-care, class, and self-growth. And if you want to connect with me, in the description you'll find all of my information and my other socials. So without further ado, let's get straight into my tips. So first things first, how to find your authenticity. Sometimes we spend so much time being told who we are, who we should be, what path we should follow, constantly comparing ourselves and our path to other people that we don't even know who we are. So my first step, the first thing I want you to do is to try to go back to yourself and ask yourself, who am I when no one is looking? Because society is literally built to make us forget who we are, to make us forget what we used to love as kids, to make us fit in a standardized version of ourselves, in this standardized path that we have to follow. And then everyone tells us, oh, you just need to be authentic to succeed. You need to find your true authenticity. You need to be yourself. But we don't even know who we are anymore. So the first thing I want you to do is take pen and paper and try to get back to that person. Try to get back to yourself. Ask yourself, who are you when there's someone around? What do you enjoy doing when you're alone? What topics really make you curious? How will you dress if no one would see you? And if you want this to actually be an exercise, maybe try to keep a weekly list of these things. As you go around with your week, with your days, maybe try to keep a little list of things that genuinely made you happy. Maybe it was a specific subject in school. Maybe it was being creative in a specific field. The path to coming back to your authenticity can only start by yourself, with yourself. You can only start by asking yourself these things. Now, I have some more questions, but I feel like they need a little bit more clarity. These are like the basic ones. So keep watching to go to the premium ones. And the next point, the next thing I want you to do is to stop looking for inspiration. Now, what do I mean by that? I am a huge Pinterest lover. I love to imagine my whole life on Pinterest. I love to do vision boards every now and then. I have so many vision boards every single year. So you can trust me, I love taking inspiration from things. I'm a very creative person, so that's one of the things I love most. However, if you need to go back to your authenticity, if you don't know who you are yet, if you don't know where to start, if you feel like all the ideas you have in your head are not your ideas, but are just the ideas that society or other people are putting in your head, for a moment, I want you to cancel everything. Get rid of the inspiration. We get so many stimuli. And before it was just with our friends or our peers, our parents, comparing ourselves to them and seeing maybe their grades or the life paths or the job they got. But nowadays on social media, especially if you're constantly with your phone in your hand, all you're gonna see is things you need, things you have to have, new trends, ideas that get in your head that are not even your ideas. And at one point, you start believing that you need these things. Well, maybe you don't even want them. So to find your authenticity, stop looking to all of that. Stop outsourcing how your life should look like. Trust me, when you reduce your screen time, you will get more clarity. Only then you can go back and look at your Pinterest board, your vision boards, your social media channels, only after you really got the clarity. Because now, if you already know what you want, you can look at Pinterest boards and you can pin exactly the thing that you want. And so you can actually feel inspired. But if you don't even know who you are, you don't even know what your life path is, you don't know what you want, you will only look at a million things together. Only after you have clarity, they can actually serve their purpose, and so they can actually inspire you. But until that moment, if you want to find your authenticity, if you want to go back to yourself, don't look at any content anymore. Because if you do it now, all you will think is that you need everything and that you're just missing out. My next tip is start paying attention to your envy. That is data. Sometimes when you're envious of someone or something, I want you to ask yourself, what is it that you actually want? Because sometimes it's not the thing that they have, but maybe it's the emotion correlated to it. Let's say that you're seeing someone that is constantly traveling on social media and you start getting a little bit jealous of them. I want you to ask yourself, do you even want to travel? Do you even want their life? Or maybe you don't want their life. Maybe you just want their freedom. Or maybe you want the courage that they had to put themselves out there. That is something that maybe you want to do as well, but you don't find the courage to do that. Sometimes it's not the thing that they have, but it's just the feeling related to it. Maybe you don't want their life. Maybe you don't need it at all. Maybe you don't even like luxury stuff, or you don't like traveling. Maybe what you're looking for is just freedom. And ask yourself, in what way? Why am I looking for freedom? Or how do I want that freedom to be present in my life? Maybe it's not by traveling, but maybe it's money that I want. Maybe you see an influencer posting and you think, oh, they're so cringe, I could never do that. Now you might think, oh, but I don't want to post on social media. But maybe you constantly feel judged and you feel like you cannot follow your dreams, you cannot put yourself out there in whatever way that is. And so you feel jealous because someone is living their life, they're living their dream, putting themselves out there, and they're not scared of being cringe to do what they actually like. Again, even if they're not following your dream, so in this case being an influencer or traveling, it's about the exposure and the courage that it takes. So again, just put some attention on your envy, put some attention on what you feel when you look at certain things, and try to reflect just with yourself. You don't have to tell me, you don't have to expose yourself with me, but just be truthful with yourself. Write it down or think about it, whatever you want to do, and try to really reflect on the reason why you feel certain emotions, whether they're positive or negative, whether you want the thing or not. Again, it's just data. It's neutral. Your job here is to observe it, see where you're lacking, and work on that. Now, I told you that my questions will come back. And this next point is very much linked to the first point. Because now it's not just about understanding what you actually genuinely like, but it's also about removing the barriers. I want you to ask yourself, if nobody knew, if nobody ever cared, what would your life path be? What would you do? If nobody judged you, nobody cared, or everyone died, everyone you know died. I hope not, but still. If you had one single chance today of following your dream life, how would that look like? What would that opportunity look like? And now the homework, I also want you to ask yourself, do I really want to give up that just because I'm scared of what someone could think of me? If that is your dream and the only obstacle is other people's judgment, do you really think it's worth it to give it up? Because I don't. Stop being performative and start creating a life that you actually enjoy privately. Not a life that other people congratulate you for and then you hate privately, where you feel miserable just because you followed the path that your parents told you was best for you, or maybe society wants for you. And now I don't want you to give everything up and drop out of school because I said that. But the point is, if you're trying to really find your authenticity and you understood what it is that you love, you understood what your life path is, and the only thing that is blocking you in your life is, or at least from trying, is other people's judgment, that is really not worth it. And I would say that since we only have one life, or at least we only remember this one life, at least for now, I don't know, even if you will fail, even if there's a high possibility that you will fail, at least try. Most people don't even try. If you don't try, that is failure, just because you were scared of putting yourself out there. Okay, next, I feel like this is a bonus point because it is a way for you to find even more clarity. If all of this was not enough for you, a practice that I really love doing is meditation. And meditating doesn't have to be this mystical, crazy thing. It can literally just be you sitting on your bed in silence with a relaxing music, or even with no music, just listening to your thoughts and removing all the noise, removing all the stimuli, just there, sitting with your thoughts, and you have no idea of how many ideas I got just in meditation. Again, it doesn't have to be this mystical thing. You're allowed to think or believe whatever you want, but it's just a practice for you to be more mindful, especially if you're trying to find something in yourself, if you're trying to find something that you don't remember anymore, but it's in you. It's just you. You're trying to get back to you. Meditation is one of the best practices to do that because you're literally alone with yourself, just with your thoughts, observing them. If you don't believe me, just block out all the noise, sit with yourself, and just see what happens. And finally, again, this is like a bonus point. It's not really a step to follow, but it's something you absolutely need to know and you need to keep in mind. And it is to let yourself be inconsistent. Understand that it's totally okay to change, that it's totally okay to change path 100 times, that it's totally okay to take time to learn things and even change your mind, change your ideas, change what you want from life. Even if yesterday you said that you wanted to do something with your life and today you're saying something else, yes, that's a little bit inconsistent, but that's the only way to find what you want to do. If you remain stuck in one place just because you don't want to be inconsistent, or just because you're scared of what could come, or just because you're scared of changing your path, you're gonna stay stuck in a place where you don't want to stay, in a place that is not authentic for you, in a place that is not going to bring you to happiness. And you really don't have to explain yourself to anyone. It's a journey, and it's totally fine for you to change ideas, to change point of views, to change university, to change life path. That's the only way for you to find your authenticity. That's the only way to find the actual path you want to go to. But make sure, again, to also follow all the steps I talked about. Don't just randomly change from one thing to another to try them all and see what happens. No. Take the time to reflect, to give yourself some clarity, to understand who you are. Don't just be impulsive in your decisions, but also give yourself the courage and the possibility also to change your life completely, to change country if you want, to change university, to change partner, to change whatever in your life if that is not working. So much better to discover what can come, that will finally be aligned with yourself, finally be aligned to who you want to be and who you really are, than to stay stuck in a place that is comfortable but it's not aligned with your authentic self. So that is all for today. I really hope that you loved this video. As always, if you did, make sure to like it and subscribe, and also let me know your point of view, because I always read your comments. We're here to help each other, so I cannot wait to hear what you have to say about this. As always, I appreciate you guys so much, and I'll see you next week with a brand new video. Bye bye.